Hello, I'm going to take you through a quick mobility, flow and stretch for your hips. So when you're ready, let's get started in a downward facing dog. If you're not sure what you're doing, I will talk you through everything. So downward facing dog is hands about shoulder width apart, feet about hips distance apart. Really press your shoulders near your ears, so press into the mat, pull your hips up high. If you're on your toes also, that's absolutely fine. From here, on an inhale, see if you can lift your right leg up high, three-leg dog. And then start to bring your right knee towards your nose and hold. Then step your right foot up behind your right wrist. Keep your toes tucked at the back here. Make sure you're pressing evenly into both feet first. And again, on an inhale, bring your arms up and overhead into a high lunge. So here you should feel big stretch in the left hip. To get more of a stretch, think about squeezing your left glute at the back and really press into that back foot as well as your front foot. From here, start to lower your back knee down slowly, untuck your toes at the back and sink your hips down into a low lunge. If you find this difficult to hold, using some blocks or a chair or something to hold yourself up here can also be really helpful, but blocks are not essential. Once you've held your low lunge, wherever you are, start to bring your hands down on the inside of your right foot this time. Heel toe your right foot over towards the edge of your mat, or so it's on the outside of your right hand. Tuck your toe at the back this time and lift your hips up into a lizard pose. So right knee presses into your right shoulder and really press into your feet so you don't have all of your weight in your wrists. From here, we'll start to walk your hands around, open your hips up and sit your hips down low into what we call Skandasana or a half squat. Your hands could stay on the floor here, or if you want a bit more, think about pushing your palms together and bringing them up to your heart. Now, with your hands on or off the floor, on's going to be easier, off is going to be slightly harder. Really push into your right leg. See if you can bring yourself over to your Skandasana on the left. Pull your right toes up towards you. Then from here, plant your hands down, walk your hands round. We're going back towards that lizard pose, but this time on the left-hand side. So move your feet if you need to. Left foot's going to be on the outside of your left hand. Really press your left knee into your left shoulder. Squeeze your back leg. You should feel a stretch through your right hip. Start to lower that back knee down. Untuck your toes. Heel toe your foot back towards the center of the mat, but don't bring it right in line with the center. You want that left foot in line with your left hip. And if you want more, inhale to bring your arms up and overhead and hold here, or you could place your hands down on something beside you, either blocks, chair, sofa, whatever you've got available to you. From here this time, tuck your toe at the back, really press into both feet. See if you can bring yourself back up to your high lunge, but this time on the left-hand side. Big stretch in that right hip this time. Then plant your hands down and step your left foot back to your downward facing dog. So we're facing the other way now. We're going to repeat on the other side and add in a few extras. If you feel like you want to hold any of these stretches for longer, please feel free. Inhale to lift your left leg up high this time. Start to bring your left knee towards your nose and hold. Then left foot steps up behind your left wrist. Keep your toes tucked to the back. And again, use an inhale, arms up and overhead. Big stretch in that right hip. I feel it down here. If I squeeze my right glute, really push into that back toe, I feel it even more. And maybe see if you can sink a little bit lower into your lunge this time. Slowly start to lower your back knee down. Untuck your toe at the back, sit your hips down, low lunge. This time, if you want a bit more, you could circle your right arm round to reach and look towards your right foot at the back, and then bring your arm back up and overhead. One more. Reach back round, right arm up and overhead. Plant your hands down on the inside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot out towards the edge of your mat or on the outside of your left hand. Tuck your toe at the back and press your hips up, lizard pose. This time we're gonna bounce. So still think about squeezing that back leg as you bounce, just little bounces. And this is really good. Rather than holding a passive stretch, it's good to be active, and also helps out with lengthening the fascia that surrounds your muscle. And then hold. Then from here, we're going back to that Skandasana. So walk your hands round, keep your left leg bent, point your right toes up towards the ceiling, pull them in towards you at the same time. Hands can stay on, or they could come up to your heart, or palms meet at your heart. From here, with hands on or off the mat, you're going to press over towards the other side. So really press, plant that left foot into the mat, come over to the right hand side. Try and keep your chest up here so you keep that natural curve in your spine rather than rounding down, because that's going to really help with any squats that you're doing in your training. Hands plant down, walk them round. We're going round to lizard. So right foot, heel toe it over towards the edge of your mat or on the outside of your right shoulder if you need to. Find a good lizard pose first. Strong in the feet, pushing into them. Squeeze your back leg and then start to bounce. Then from your lizard pose, hold. Move your right hand on the outside of your right foot. Shuffle or heel toe your right foot back in towards center. But remember again, you want right foot in front of your right hip. Hands can stay where they are, up on blocks, or you can bring your arms up and overhead. If your hand is resting on something, you can still do this next part if you want to. So left hand reaches back and round towards your left foot. Shift your gaze as well. This will help with your balance. Bring your arm back up onto blocks, or it could be overhead. One more. Left arm reaches back and round. And then back up and overhead. Plant your hands down if you need to, or keep your arms up and overhead. Tuck that toe at the back. Really press into both feet. Lift back up to your high lunge. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. We'll finish up here with a few pedals of the feet in your downward facing dog. So bending and straightening one leg at a time. And when you're ready, just hold your downward dog still. Push through the shoulders, pull your hips up. And remember, being up on your toes or having bent knees is fine. Just try and keep pushing through your hands. And then bring yourself back down onto your knees or to a comfortable seated position to finish.